Hello again, welcome to today's attempt of a Stepdle puzzle. On this day in 1982, Sultan Kösen was born. Apologies for pronunciation. You might not know who he is, even if I pronounced it perfectly. He is a Turkish guy that's currently the world's tallest man. And so, to mark this occasion, I'm going to be using some facts about various other tall things as my starting guesses. So, Sultan is 251 centimetres or 8 foot 2.82 inches. Huge. The tallest, let's start with the tallest Christmas tree. That's seasonal, isn't it? It was a Douglas fir that appeared in a Seattle mall in 1950. 67 and a bit metres or 221 feet tall. Significantly taller than a person. Let's start with tree. Gives me a green R. If I did get 4 greys, I would have told you that I'm going to go with snow as my next guess, because the world's tallest snowman was actually a snow woman called Olympia, built in Maine in February 2008, 37 and a bit metres tall, 122 feet. So much smaller than a tree. Much smaller than a Christmas tree anyway. Right, but we're not going to go for snow because we've got the R, so let's try crab instead. I've got no idea why a CR beginning was the first thing I thought of, but it's not right, so I'm losing my grip on this puzzle. It's looking grim. I'm going to be grinning after this. I'm not... Oh, I am going to be grinning, but grinning in frustration, but I said grin and then ignored it for 2 more guesses. Anyway, we will move on to Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall in the world. 979 metres or 3,212 feet. Only gives me an E though. I was kind of hoping for slightly more out of those pretty good letters. It's a crime that I've been so unlucky. That is much more like it though. It could be bribe. I got stuck on that before, so let's go for bride instead, because then I'll find out if it is bribe as well. And in fact we get the D, so presumably drive. There we go, we will drive on to the 6-letter one, and of course in honour of the man's birthday I'm going to go for Sultan. Helpful that it is actually a valid word in English. Gives me 3 letters as well, that is not too bad. What are we going to do with them? Cactus looks promising from those 3, but of course we've ruled out the S and the T can't be full for either. What other things have got those 3 letters in? Can't be a UN beginning or a TUE ending, like virtue, that sort of ending. So this might be harder than it looks. It can't be actual or a UAL ending either. We can't use VL, but also VA couldn't be 5th. So what are we going to do with this Q, with the U, sorry. I said Q, Freudian slip, because I was thinking of words like square, because that would use the U and the A, wouldn't it? But of course, we can't have an SQU beginning, because we've ruled out the S, and we can't have a QU beginning, because the U can't be second. So, what would be a sensible thing to do instead? Something like that, perhaps, with a Y at the end? Something like 40? We've ruled out the L, so it can't be that specific word. Is there anything similar that fits? How about acuity? Probably not common enough to be correct, but let's test some new letters. None of which is correct. We just get a bunch more yellows. That is absolutely unhelpful, isn't it? I should have gone for something like abrupt. That would have been a brilliant guess. Would have tested some different letters. It's quite likely to be U in 4th and T in 6th, or at least one of those, now that I've got to this stage. But it can't be abrupt because the A can't be first. So it could be something along those lines. Ragu. That's a plausible answer. Still not right, but at least we've got a little bit more information. The U is not in the right place. Okay, so the U is going to go there, isn't it? The T has to be earlier in the word. It's going to be mature. I can't believe I didn't consider the E earlier. How careless. Anyway, we will end with the tallest tree. I told you about the tallest Christmas tree earlier, the tallest living tree, the 115.5 metre tall, that's 379 feet, Hyperion coast redwood. And you know what the Latin name for a coast redwood is? Sequoia sempervirens. So we're just going to go for sequoia. That's a great 7-letter word to test all for vowels. I'm not getting 7 greys here, am I? Because it's not going to be rhythms, because I've ruled out the S. We get 3 vowels, right. None in the right position, though. That's a bit unlucky. But that is not a bad start, so I can't really complain that it was unlucky, can I? We could have an ing ending, but then I'm struggling to work out where the E and A would go. Because it can't be hearing or something like that, because the E can't be second. Could be a TIVE ending. What would we do with the A? Because it can't be pastime or something like that, because we've ruled out the S. So if it was something along those lines, that's what I was thinking with pastime and the TIVE ending. I don't know what that 3rd letter would be, that's the problem. Tide or time. It's definitely plausible, but I'm not really convinced. So let's just try and be solid as a rock with some granite. Still no greens. I've been so unlucky with the greens in these last 2. We've got 5 yellows. I mean, we really should be able to work out what's going on now. It's not an ing ending, but we do have all of those letters. The I isn't 5th, so it's clearly not an ing ending. I suppose it could be an ing beginning. I was thinking something like ingrate, but that would end with an E, which we can't have, not to mention the fact that we've ruled out the R and the T. So I'm less confident in that option. But that does beg the question of what are we going to do instead. The I is not going to be last, and it can't be 5th or 6th, so that's going to be somewhere relatively close to the start of the word. An ED beginning is plausible. Or D grain? No, because the I would have to be there if we haven't used it in the first 3 letters. That doesn't look that likely. Oh, and the E can't be second anyway, so it's not a DE beginning for many, many reasons. What uses these 5 letters? That is the question. I suspect the answer is a heck of a lot of things, which is making it really difficult to work out what to do. I do like the ing sequence, so is it likely to be there? Where would we put the A and the E if it was? We'd probably have to go like that. I don't think that's likely. So it's probably not going to be an ing sequence just because we're running out of space for it. In something. I just don't know. In gleam? That's not a word. In clean. This G is what's messing me up now, just because it's quite an uncommon letter, especially if it's not going to be ing. So maybe it is going to be ing. Can't be those 3. It's not going to be those 3. It's not going to be those 3. That's the latest that it could be, but then what would the last letter be? Can't be an E, even if it was something like syringe, and it can't be an S. It would have to be a Y, and then we're running out of places for the A and the E. So it's not going to be an ing. It's going to be one of those where I just have to go for a bunch of new letters just to try and get some more information, I think. Let's just try pinched. It is an ED ending after all that. Glad I went for pinched. We've ruled out the PC and H as well, and we've ruled out 2 new positions for the I and the N. Engaged? Engained? Don't think any of those are particularly likely. So if it's an INED, where would we put the G? If it's a GED, where would we put everything else? We've got 6 out of the 7 letters now, so I'm even more annoyed that I cannot work out what this word is. Magind? I'm thinking of maligned, I think, but that's too many letters. It uses a lot of the letters that we need, but it's not going to be correct. GN. Ig. No, because even if it was ig, then it would have to be AN in that specific sequence. Can't be ignored. We do know at least one of the first 2 letters, but I just don't know which one it is. This is my worst performance by a long time, by a long way. I got stuck on the 6 and the 7, and I didn't exactly whiz through the 4 or the 5. Oh dear. We need 1 extra letter unless we've got a duplicated AEI, DG or N. And I just don't know what's going on. What do I want to try? I really need to know. So many things. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to do another word that's definitely not correct. In something. Let's just try in great. Okay, we've tried 3 new positions for those first 3 letters and still none of them is correct. So the N is surely going to be 5th? If the N is first, the A is going to have to be 2nd. I just don't think we're going to have room to fit everything in. So therefore, if it's an NED ending, the I would surely have to be there? That would mean the G is 2nd. That would mean the A is first. Aglind? Agmind? I've got no idea what this word is. So it... Oh, I don't know. N-A... something G-I. Okay, so the G is 4th. All I wanted to do is rule out a bunch of other positions. I knew that wasn't going to be correct. We've only got 1 guess left. We've got to get it right on this. It has to start with the A. Has to have an I there. It's just aligned, isn't it? It's a silent G. My brain was very much not aligned with that word. 6446. We've used up all 20 guesses. We haven't failed, so it's not my worst ever performance. But it was pretty shocking, wasn't it? What were the words? Grim, drive, mature, aligned. Those are not the most uncommon words in the world, and they're not the most uncommon letters, most of them, so I really feel like I should have got some of those faster. Let me know if you were shouting aligned at the screen, if you were more aligned than I was to that word. That was not a good performance, but thank you if you stuck with me till the end. Hope you enjoyed watching me struggle, and bye for now.